What is up, Waffle Gang? I do hope you are well. My name is Mark, and today we're checking out some more Am I the butthole? And if you'd like to skip that initial waffle, timestamps are in the description and along the timeline below. But before we do get into today's stories, I just want to say a couple of thank yous to Madbird for your upgrade and Bethan Taylor Actor for the rejoin. Thank you so much for your support towards the channel. It means the absolute world. And to each and every single one of you for spending 20 minutes or so of your day and listening to some stories, getting involved, it makes a huge difference. So thank you for being awesome, and let's crack on with today's stories. Much luck, guys. And our first story, we're going to start off with Classic Goose 8228. Am I the arsehole for making a scene of my adult son and sticking my nose in his marriage? I'm 60 and bad with the whole context thing on mobile, so I'm hoping I won't be judged on my grammar. Here's the important background. My daughter-in-law, 32, and my son, 33, have 3 children, aged 3 years, 2 years, and 4 months. He convinced her to be a stay-at-home mum and sell her business by telling her how good of a childhood he had and how happy my marriage was, without telling her, which today I found out, that our arrangement was everything before 9 AM and after 5 PM was split 50-50. Sunday was my day off and I was brought out twice a week. On to the story. On my last visit, I noticed my daughter-in-law was struggling mentally, so I, my sister 55 female, and her girlfriend 53, pulled our money together and paid for a spa weekend for them while we babysat the kids for her birthday last weekend. I was preparing on Thursday evening for the kids to arrive when my daughter-in-law rang me holding back tears, saying they won't be going because my son's friend came to town and he said he wanted to spend the weekend with his friends catching up. I pressed her a little, and I'm talking a little about her situation. She came clean about him doing no chores, no date nights, and her basically doing all of the childcare because that's what stay-at-home mums do. I was honestly disgusted. I convinced her to drop me off the kids and bring a friend to the spa, even dipped into my savings to give her €500 to buy her something nice. When she dropped me off the kids, I begged her to tell me where son was. After 5 minutes, she told me at the bar. She left for the spa while I left for the bar. She knew I was going there and knew my sister/my sister-in-law were taking care of the kids. Here's where I might be the arsehole. When I got to the bar, he and his friends were sat down next to the group, and I asked my son, "Did I fail you as a mother, or was it your father? Because we taught your partner comes before your silly drunk friends." The post is getting long enough, but long story short, I humiliated him and got myself banned from a bar. My daughter-in-law said she'll be taking the kids to her parents when she gets back tomorrow, and my son is calling me an arsehole for humiliating him and sticking my nose in his marriage. Maybe I should have stayed out. I don't know. Edit. I just want to say I'm heartbroken, not by any judgment towards me or my parenting skills, but the fact that a lot of people are shocked I care about my daughter-in-law's mental health and stood up for her against my son's bad behavior. I just want to say, as a mother, my advice is to treat your daughter, son, non-binary in-laws how you'd want your children to be treated. Respect goes a long way. And Poe Adam asked a question at the end of this one saying, I guess we need to know exactly what was said, but I'm pretty sure not the arsehole. To which OP then replied said, I said what I told everyone in the post. Son said, Mum, daughter-in-law said it was okay, we hardly see David since he moved. I said, your wife is on her way to the spa. I have your children, who I hope you pick up tomorrow when you sober up, which I hardly doubt because from what my daughter-in-law told me, you're a failure as a father as you are a husband. Would you like it if one of your sisters were treated that way? His friends replied to me saying, Mrs. Me, you are yelling and making a scene. Please leave because by the sounds of what you said, everything is going to be okay. So at least for tonight, leave son alone. We don't get to see each other much since college, so please cut son some slack. I said you've all got families and partners. You hopefully respect that's why. So please kindly fuck off. Son then replies, Mum, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Everyone is looking and the staff want you to leave because our table now has more than 6 people. Please leave. Leave now. I said I honestly expected better, but you're a wolf in sheep's clothes. I hope she divorces you. After that, I got asked to leave and never come back to the bar for yelling and harassing customers, aka my son. Edit, my comment is all over the place grammar-wise because it was coming up to time to FaceTime my daughter-in-law with her kids. And you know, we see so many stories that we read where mother-in-law gets involved in a marriage, and it automatically makes you come into this one with your guard up thinking, oh yeah, Opie's definitely going to be an arsehole. Mother-in-laws getting involved in marriages is never a good thing, but in this case, I can only applaud it. Getting involved and looking after daughter-in-law and seeing what's going on and then acting on it, I can't blame you for it. I mean, what's your other option? Stand back and just let it happen? Hell no. Well done for you for getting involved in that. But I guess the big question here is he actually going to change after that? So I hope you keep on at him to find out where this attitude's coming from, because clearly it can't continue like this, and they will eventually split up if it was to continue down this road. Wife is clearly already very unhappy from what she said to mother-in-law. But what I found even more concerning really is, rather than him, with his friends, sure, he's going to be embarrassed, but rather than him saying, oh yeah, I have been an arsehole here, he's just defended himself, and his friends are defending it as well. So I wonder what he's been saying to his friends at the same time. Absolutely not the arsehole from me. But Banff says, not the arsehole. It sounds like your misogynistic son needs some humiliation to have someone stick their nose into his marriage. It's not like you're a stranger, you're his mother. Also, this is not a minor thing. This is your son treating his wife like a servant, not a spouse. Lexi Destine says, not the arsehole. Your son sounds like an arsehole. He convinced her to become a stay-at-home mum so he could avoid being a dad. Vulpix Raw says, not the arsehole. Good on you for sticking up for your daughter-in-law. Your son needs some serious reality checks. 3 babies and all the chores. He's nuts. Lady Pundit says, no, you're not the arsehole, but you're spot on in your assessment of your narcissistic, chauvinistic son. Let him have his tantrum. He treated his wife badly, and he has no remorse. Someone needed to stand up for your daughter-in-law and grandkids. Kudos to you. Your poor daughter-in-law. Thank goodness she has you. And we have one more from Blippy who says, not the arsehole. Your son had the audacity to cancel a spa trip you paid for so he could get drunk with his friends. How dare he? Any good mum tells their kids off when disrespecting their partner, especially when they are a lazy do-nothing. Your daughter-in-law is doing everything for that family, and she definitely didn't deserve the humiliation of her husband dictating she can't go out because he wants to. Now, what do you guys make of this story? It's obviously going to be a not the arsehole, but how would you have handled it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll move on to the next one. And our next story comes from Corzaz. Am I the arsehole for leaving a family gathering because my family made me sit at the kids' table? For context, I haven't seen my full family together in quite some time, so they set up a get-together at a park today. The family gathering includes me, 22 male, my brother 21, my sister 25, her husband 29, and their 2 kids, my dad, stepmom, and her kids, 6 and 9, aunt, uncle, my 2 cousins, 15 and 20, grandma and grandpa. I get there with some picnic items. I brought a quiche and the cups, and see a few members setting up. I say hi and help set up the tables and set the food out. We talk and play games while the others show up. When everyone gets there, we sit down to eat. I sit next to my dad and get a weird look from my aunt as she says to me, "This is the adults table." To which I reply, "I am an adult." She tells me that the first and second generations are considered adult, and the third and fourth generations should sit at the kids' table since we don't have much to contribute to adult conversations. I tell her that I can drink, that I drove here, and that I pay rent and have a job, so how am I still considered a child? She says that until I have kids of my own, I'll have to sit at the kids' table. According to my aunt, there are 8 children, ages 6 to 22, and adults ages 25 to 75. So I should sit at the kids' table since it'd be even. But there is plenty of space at the adult table, and I don't want to be stuck with 5 literal children. She still disagrees, and at this point my uncle and grandparents back her up, so I say fuck it, take my quiche back, tell them all to have a nice day and drive away. I get a few texts telling me to come back by my dad and grandparents. I ask if my aunt is going to apologise, and they ask for what. That was enough for me to disregard their other messages and calls until I got home, where I am now. I feel shitty that I may have possibly ruined a nice family gathering, but feel my family doesn't respect me at all. Enough to say that I am a child and apparently have the same mentality as 6-year-olds. Am I the arsehole? Nope, not the arsehole. The logic in this one is just backwards, man, because the comment that you don't have much to contribute to adult conversations would really tip me over the edge. And in some ways, I was just getting the feeling through this that they just want to sit you on the kids' table to be like a babysitter, although the kids are most of them are adults apart from the 6 and 9-year-old, and they really don't need someone looking after them. And for no one to back you up in this situation as well is equally disgusting to me. The fact that I'm just picturing her sat there when you sat down at this table, and then she just looks at you and goes, "This is the adults' table." And I mean, who does that? That's family. And that you haven't seen for a while, and she's willing to go and do that. Absolutely not the arsehole to me. And I would have left as well, and the petty me would have just put my hand in the quiche and just took a mouthful of it. Well done for taking it though. And Alsmit250 says, "Not the arsehole, I love you took your quiche with you too." To which OP replies, "It tastes sweeter for some reason." And Hauntingly Ethereal says, "Not the arsehole," and quotes, "Don't act dumb and then get mad when people find out." And then says, "Ooh though, your aunt is totally an arsehole. They probably want you at the kids' table to play babysitter. I would have left too, to be honest." OP then replies, "I'm surprised my brother accepted it too. He's 21. I understand my cousin's situation though, since she's my aunt's daughter, and it's not like she's going to talk back. If I stayed, there would probably been 3 people over 20 on the kids' table." What? Dangerous Bean says, "Not the arsehole, and your aunt owes you an apology. She seems to think that people aren't adults until they what? Get married and have kids? As an unmarried childless person in my late 40s, I find that exceptionally and genuinely amusing, and even sort of appreciate that she apparently thinks I'm a kid, but also she's objectively completely wrong. You're an adult, not only legally but by any reasonable standard. Except maybe that your prefrontal cortex still has a little growing to do, but that's whether you're married and have kids or not, so still defeats her argument. You are not the arsehole, but your aunt is petty and your uncle and grandparents aren't any better. I'm sure they would have been furious if someone had treated them that way at 22. Misky Moon says, "Not the arsehole, they wanted you to play babysitter." Equivalent Collar says, "Not the arsehole, you were just saving the seat at the kids' table for your aunt, since that's where she seems to belong." I would have loved that if everyone turned on her and said, "No, aunt, you gotta sit at the kids' table." Just see her face. And Miss Senior says, "Not the arsehole," in quotes. She says that until I have kids of my own, I'll have to sit at the kids' table. And then says, "I can't have children, so I'd never be regarded as an adult. I'm old enough to both drive a car and then get arrested for it because I can't drive." Now, what do you guys make of this one? How would you act if someone treated you this way and trying to make you sit at the kids' table? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll move on to the next story. And our next story comes from Nameless Future. "Am I the arsehole for not wanting to change my name and asking fiancé to change hers? I, 27 male, have been with my fiancé, 24 female, for 3.5 years. We are very happy together and I can't imagine my life without her. But we have a hard time reconciling this disagreement, so I posted here at her suggestion. We have been talking more and more about marriage recently and what it would look like. For me, part of the significance of marriage is becoming family with each other, and that includes sharing our last name. When I think of being bonded with her in that way, I get really happy and excited, like we're a true pair and that the world could recognize us. However, she wants to keep her last name as she says it is a hassle to have to change it. I think that's fine, but I'm the only guy on my side of the family who could carry my family name. I have 2 sisters who are married already, so it's literally just me left. It's a pretty unique name, not one like Johnson or Smith, so my family name would die out if I don't carry it and pass it on to our kids. Fiancé doesn't really care about matching our names and suggested I could change my name to hers, so we match or otherwise just keep our own last names after we marry. She has a brother, so her family name would be carried on either way. I feel like it's different for that reason, and she should compromise with me and change her name. Am I the arsehole for not wanting to change my family name and asking her to change hers instead? And there is a couple of ETAs from where they've replied to the comments, so we'll cover those straight away, with ETA getting some questions about hyphenating our names. I'm willing to do this, but she is not. She does not want to change her last name at all due to the hassle of it, so basically she says I can take her name or just accept us having different last names. Also, some comments are also mentioning this is my hill to die on. It's really not, or I wouldn't be posting here. It's just something my fiancé and I are having trouble sorting, and we want to get some others to weigh in. I obviously won't or can't force her to do anything. ETA 2, it's hard to keep up with the comments, but I am reading them all, and so is my fiancé. She's getting a kick out of it, which makes me glad I suppose, but to address a couple more questions that are popping up. We talked and both okay with the kids taking my last name. She thinks about this still, but might use my last name socially and keep her name legally so she doesn't have to deal with the hassle, but still get a shared name. And I was reading through the comments on this one, and there was one question that jumped out to me, and it was really quite an interesting one, I thought. And it's from Sad Life Kitty, who says, what will you do if you only have daughters in the future? There won't be any sons to carry on the name. If this carrying on the name family thing is truly that important, you'll need to figure it out before having kids. And why does she need to change? This family name thing implies a heritage. She is your SO, not your descendant. No matter what, she wouldn't be carrying on your name, as in all likelihood she'd pass away around the same-ish time as you, or if you divorce, I doubt she'd keep the name. And then OP replies to this saying, if I only have daughters, up to them to decide, but it would be nice if they kept the family name alive. To which then FireGem replies, ooh, so you want your daughters to keep their family name, but your fiancé to change hers? How beautifully hypocritical. And then it continues to get like a bit spicy from there. But if I had a partner and was getting married and all this sort of stuff and they didn't want to change their last name, I think I would totally respect that. Not only because it's a pain in the ass, like getting it changed on all your documents, like driving license, insurances, whatever paperwork you're going on, you have to get that changed, right? But also, people's last names mean quite a lot to them, so asking them to do that I think is a big ask. If someone asked me to change my last name for whatever reason, I didn't think I would want to change it, you know. And it's only simply for the fact that, you know, it's my last name. It's something I've had all my life, and I don't think I'd want to lose that to change that to someone else's. And it wouldn't be about just passing it down or anything like that, you know, but just simply for the reason that I've had it my whole life. But we'll start with Jack Burton, who says, sorry dude, you're the arsehole. Welcome to the 21st century. It is a massive, massive pain to change your name and update everything. Massive. Words cannot express how massive. You think it's massive? You either want to marry her or don't. You choose. The name change BS is a holdover from when women were considered property, and while still some embrace that tradition, it is not universal and not everyone does it or wants to. In fact, in some places it's illegal to do so. Well, I didn't know that. If you want to make this your hill to die on, so be it. Edit, thanks for the awards. Obviously this is a YMMV situation, is that your mileage may vary? As others have so eloquently stated. It's what the kids get named that's important, and it's what truly determines if a name has the opportunity to be carried on. And Fuzzy Fuzzy Fungus says, if your idea of compromise is, give me exactly what I want and what you specifically said you didn't want, I'm unclear how this is going to work out well. 49-1 says, why don't you both keep your own names? Artist Dude Mayhap says, you're the arsehole for, and quoting, for not wanting to change my family name and asking her to change hers instead. And then says, why do your wants come first? She doesn't want to change her family name and thus is asking you to change yours as well. But the fact that you expect her to just do what you want when she's trying to compromise. Galilea says, you're the arsehole, a name doesn't make a union, a family, a bond, or a legacy. Maine says you're the arsehole not because you don't want to change your last name, but because you're pressuring her to change hers. She told you she doesn't want to do it because it is a hassle, and it is, and you aren't letting it go. She's given you a viable option. If you want to have matching names, that's not good enough for you either. Your inability to compromise on something that ridiculous does not bode well for larger ticket fights. And we'll have one more from Coda Shell who says, picture this. Your kid does share your last name, but she grows up to marry a man who bullies her into taking his name because he wants his legacy to last. Women aren't your pawn to possess with your last name. You're the arsehole if you won't compromise with your future wife. Now, what do you guys make of this one? If you are married or are getting married at some point in the future, would you change your last name? What if it meant an incredible amount to your partner to change your last name? Would that change your views at all? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and your verdicts on all of today's stories if you choose to share them. A huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for being involved in the channel and keeping me going every single day. I love reading the story with you guys and listening to your comments and getting involved. It means the absolute world to me. If you'd like to support the channel further, absolutely no pressure though, you can click that join button down below for YouTube or click the link in the description and go to Patreon and join up there. It makes a huge difference to the way we do things and allows me to continue to improve the channel, I hope, and other stuff like that. So thank you so much for doing you, being amazing, and I will see you in the next one. Take care guys, much love.